Okay, we're going to talk today about amps, amperage, which is a measurement of current. We've measured voltage and we've measured resistance so far, but we measure current in a unit of measure called amps or amperes, but we always see it abbreviated as amps. This is very important in any mechanical system, any fan, motor-driven system, pump-driven system. You got to be careful, and you got to know how much amp draw you're actually drawing, because all of your electrical wiring, all of your breakers are sized according to how much amp draw that the system is actually pulling. And you want to be careful that your motor is not what we refer to as over-amping or drawing over the required or rated amperage in the system, because it would, one thing, it would cause the motor to have a shorter life, and it would also possibly start to trip breakers, because again the breakers are sized for the amperage of the motor. And the way you measure this is pretty easily. We'll do it in class when we meet in the lab in a couple of weeks. But if you've got what they refer to as a clamp-on amp meter, you can just put the clamp-on meter onto the disconnect and measure the amp draw that way. If you've got a digital multimeter that does not have a clamp-on capability, then you have to do what we call put the digital multimeter in series with the load, and so you'd have to disconnect wires, and in the field that'd be a difficult thing to want to try to do. So it has to be measured in series unless you have a clamp-on type meter. So all you have to do is get on, if you got a three-phase system, you got 3 hot legs coming to your motor. You want to clamp on each hot leg to see the amp draw of what's coming to the motor, and then you would need to do an average of that to try to find out what your average amperage is, amp draw is on your motor. Now, every motor you'll see a rating on it. You'll see an FLA, that stands for full load amps. And that's the amount of amps that the motor is going to be drawing, and this is a rated amperage according to a certain voltage. Now, many motors are dual voltage motors, which means that they come from a factory rated for possibly